This is about Mackenzie McKee. As you guys know, she is currently pregnant with two babies, right? They're going to be two daughters that she shares with her fiance, Casanio. And prior to her getting pregnant, in fact, she didn't want to get pregnant. This is something that Casanio pushed on to her because he wanted his own biological child with her, even though she's got three children, and each one of those pregnancies for her was extremely complicated and life-threatening. And so they decided to go ahead and implant two embryos. And I don't think they did this with the intention of having twins. I think they actually just did this because, sometimes when you implant two embryos, only one survives. And I think that she just didn't want to go through this cycle anymore. So she just wanted to do it this one time to have a chance of at least having one baby, right? And so ultimately, both of them stuck. And so she's pregnant with twins. And this was obviously a high risk pregnancy from the very beginning for her. And up until this point, everything seemed to have been going really well until she was rushed to the hospital. She said that she had gained somewhere like 20 pounds of water weight or something like that overnight. And she decided they told her that she was dealing with preeclampsia. She had all of the symptoms, including protein in her urine and everything. However, the doctor who was seeing her said that the symptoms were not bad enough to go and full-blown deliver the babies at this moment. And so the babies, however, on the good side, are measuring in the 97th percentile. And she's saying that she's going to be speaking with her own doctor today to get more information about this and to get a second opinion about whether or not she should go ahead and deliver the babies anytime, like between now and a week from now, 2 weeks from now, however many weeks it might take for her. So I'm wishing her the best. Yeah, you guys, she said she gained something like 12 to 20 pounds of water weight within about 48 hours, if I'm remembering correctly. This is something that she announced on her Snapchat, by the way. And so I'm definitely very nervous for her. This seems like a lot. This seems like a very extreme kind of turn of events because, up until now, she had been saying that things have been going well. She was enjoying this pregnancy and whatnot. And then, and that's the thing about pregnancy, right? Is that you really never know if and when things can just go left all of a sudden, right? Good morning, East Awesome. East says, hi, y'all. I'm back in back-to-back meetings today, but I'm listening in the background. Thanks for joining us. Is this at your new job, by the way? Can I say that? Or should I be whispering at your new job? Congratulations again, by the way, East. Ramster says, I'm in bed. Limbs feel like rubber. Hope it's not the flu. And I'm sorry to hear that. Get well soon. And I hope it's not the flu either. Are you able to make yourself a nice chicken noodle soup or something like that? Acacia says, I hope it works out for Mackenzie going through all of that. And same here. It feels like a really, really difficult thing to go through. Preeclampsia is something that happens, often enough in pregnancies, it feels like. However, it is still a very dangerous, life-threatening condition, and it's something that can be dangerous to the child as well. So I'm happy that she decided to go ahead and seek a second opinion from her primary doctor about this situation, right? It's one thing to go to the emergency room. It's another to go to a doctor who knows you, has been following you, has all of your files and everything. Good morning, Summer Breeze. And yeah, Star, she said something between 12 to 20 pounds. And that's a lot. And it was within about 48 hours. Minnie says, that sounds so dangerous. I don't know why she went home. And same here, right? Because typically when that happens, they're rushing to get you to deliver, right? And I believe that she has made it to at least 30 something weeks with the babies. So I feel like she is in a good place if, this is, as serious as they say, if this is as life-threatening as they say, to just go ahead and deliver. Bree says, I had preeclampsia too. She needs to eat a ton of protein. I hope she can make it. And so I have a question for you, Bree, since this is something that you've gone through. They say that she already has protein in her urine. Does that not mean that she already has too much, or does that mean she's leaking protein and she needs to replenish protein? What do you think that all that means? And yes, shout out to you guys for sending all of your prayers to Mackenzie, wishing her the best. And I agree, Ramstar. I think this man is so selfish for even putting her through this situation, right? she already was she had taken out her tubes and everything, right? Because she had closed up shop. She didn't want to have any more children. And then along comes this guy, and he's pushing for children. She keeps telling him, it's dangerous for me. I risked my life already with 3. I almost died 3 times with these 3 babies. And he's like, no, like, you got to think positively. Everything's going to be fine. What? Like, he's not the one with his own life on the line, right? Like, the guy is so selfish. And on top of that, she said she wanted to be married before she had more kids. And so he threw a ring on it to get her to shut up and risk her life. Right? They're still not married, you know, I'm sorry, but a fiance is a glorified boyfriend. He's still technically just her boyfriend. She's still single, you know, so all of this for what? It is crazy to me. Good morning, Seattle. Nice to see you in the building. Jaleesa says, my bestie had preeclampsia with her twins, delivered 2 months early and had perfectly healthy boys. Her girls will be healthy. Amen. Let's claim it. And that's what I'm thinking as well. I think she has made it far enough to where, you know, perhaps the babies would need to be in the NICU or something like that, but they would be healthy enough. It feels like, you know, I don't think it would be the end of the world for her to be induced at this point. Bia says, just got here. I don't know what I missed, but on Mackenzie, I skipped preeclampsia and went straight eclamptic. Oh my God. And it almost ended badly. Oh, that must have been absolutely terrifying for you. I'm sorry you went through that. You know, I hear about preeclampsia all the time, but I've never heard of somebody going straight up eclamptic. Oh my gosh, that must have been truly terrifying. But thank God everything turned out well for you. Right? Struggle is Real says they don't care about mothers nowadays. And it kind of feels that way, right? It kind of feels as though and, you know, we already know about the maternal mortality crisis and whatnot, right? Especially affecting Black women. But, you know, it really feels like that is something across the board. I've heard a story about a woman who was considered brain dead or something like that. And she was pregnant and her family had asked for them to pull the plug on her. However, because she's pregnant, and mind you, at the time, she was only about 4 weeks pregnant, right? Or 2 months. They said that they were not going to do it. They wanted for her to stay, you know, brain dead and everything, so that she could deliver this baby. And so it really feels like there's no dignity or care for mothers anymore these days. And that's the thing that surprises me as well. She doesn't care. And by the way, Colorful World, thank you. So you guys, I am live on TikTok as well. So what I'm going to do is change the location of my phone so that the sound could be a little bit better. Okay, so let me know if it's better. So yeah, and on top of that, Mackenzie's diabetic and her numbers were crazy. Like her diet, like she had a hard time getting a doctor to say yes to implanting these embryos because her diabetes was out of control, right? So with all of those things factored in, it is rather amazing that they chose to just go ahead and send her home instead of trying to, you know, potentially induce labor. Now, why don't we switch gears to the Amber Portwood story, y'all? So once again, in case you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the Morning Report. We go live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about the day's hottest stories. So if you find yourself enjoying today's episode of the show, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so that YouTube, Facebook, TikTok knows that you enjoy my content, okay? So shout out to you guys who were telling me about the Amber Portwood story. This is something that was going viral on TikTok. So you could find the full series on a TikTok page called Reality Rex. And basically there was an interview done with a woman who served as Amber and Andrew's nanny when Amber still had custody of her son, James. And so this nanny shared stuff that, you know, was pretty much what you would imagine was going on with Amber Portwood in her house, right? Like we had already heard the audio tapes that Andrew had released a couple of years ago about what Amber was really like behind the scenes. Like she would refer to her child, he was an infant, like a true baby at the time. She would refer to him as it. You know, when the baby would cry, she'd be like, make it stop. It's your turn to calm it. It's your turn to take care of it. Like this sort of a thing, right? And she was just so ugly towards him. And I think she had even tossed the baby at Andrew because she was so frustrated. Like it was really disturbing, right? The audio tapes that were leaked about Amber Portwood and the way she spoke about this child. So now hearing from a nanny who had lived with her and Andrew, it's not surprising at all. So take a listen. So in this first clip, the nanny speaks about In the first clip, what does she speak about? So she speaks about how Amber never actually really held this child or anything like that. She had no real connection to him. So take a look, you guys. Let me know what you think, okay?
I never witnessed her pick him up, play with him, nothing like that. It was always Andrew. There were a couple of occasions when I would go into the master bedroom, and if her and Andrew were in there with her, and if Amber and Andrew and the baby were in that bedroom, and they had James on the bed, if he would start to like crawl towards her, he would just direct him back towards Andrew. And I would just kind of just wonder in my mind, what is she doing? She would show that child no attention, none. After she was arrested, I was there every single day. And not one time did that baby ever say, Mama, Mama, Mama. Never once, never once. Never.
So you saw the marks on the door?
Yeah.
Like, were there slash marks on the office door?
Yeah.
Were they there previously?
No.
Because that was one of the stories that she was spinning very early on, that those were scratches from a dog.
No, I'm going to call liar, liar, pants on fire on that one.
Okay.
Because I painted that entire upstairs hallway.
Okay.
And doors. Okay?
Yeah.
So that was fresh paint up there.
Okay. How long were the marks?
Oh, at least like the size of a ruler, like 12 inches.
Was there a lot of them?
At least 4. I mean, they were gash marks. Like a machete.
Like, were they deep into the door?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I mean, deep enough to where, with one of the swings, she broke the doorknob. The doorknob was broke.
So the doorknob was off the door.
Not all the way off the door. It was kind of like dangling. She had, hit it so hard that it was dangling down. So
she could have theoretically broken through that door.
Yeah. If she wanted to, yeah, she could have easily done that.
So you guys, Amber Portwood's former nanny, not testifying, but speaking to an interviewer about what the aftermath was like of Amber's machete attack. And not only that, but also talking about her lack of connection with her own son, never wanting to pick him up, hold him, anything like that. The child having no connection to her, not making any kind of an effort to say mommy or anything like that when she kind of, disappeared from the scene in the midst of all of this as well. And so it really appears as though so many of you are wondering how she's not still in prison. And that's a question I have as well, right? There are so many people in this Teen Mom universe who deserve to be in prison for like life, right? So you've got Nathan the Town Strangler, you've got dog killer David Eason and his history of violence and whatnot. There are just so many people where you're like, how are you out roaming free and in the open? It's just honestly the justice system, like it feels like there's something missing, right? Good morning, Michelle. Nice to see you, boo. Bree says, I'm still wondering how she isn't in prison. This is so scary. She can do this and be out here living a free woman, especially considering this is not her first time committing DV, especially DV in front of a child. And there's a weapon involved in everything. Like this is crazy. Right. And it's not just like a kitchen, like this is a full blown machete. Like it's just honestly, comme on dit en français, c'est hallucinant, like you're like, it's just your jaw, you're speechless in regards to what's going on. Average Canadian mom says, Amber is a horrible person. I feel so bad for her children. Crazy a nanny for a one baby. I wish I had 4 kids. And mind you, she didn't just have a nanny. Apparently she also had a babysitter as well to kind of supplement the time with the nanny so that she didn't have to do a damn thing. But honestly, it makes me look at Andrew kind of weird too, because it's like you're here at home, right? And you're looking after this child too, or at least you should be. Why is it that you need like 2 people to help you as well, right? Like very, very strange. Vivian says, this sounds bad, but I did test WOACB. I can't even listen to her in here. I'm sorry, girl. Is that who that was interviewing? I was wondering who that was. I was like, that sounds like Shout out to Minnesota, but that sounds like someone from Minnesota. Okay, so now it makes sense. B Chocolate says, with all the existing evidence out there, one would have to assume that any man that gets with her is only in it for a cash grab. And I agree. And I think that that was the case with Andrew. Andrew met her when she was like at her worst. Do y'all remember? And this photo is from when he met her. She did that like show. What was it called? Like Family Boot Camp or whatever, that sort of a thing. And she was strung out of her mind. She was looking for a fight like every 2 seconds. You know, she was absolutely atrocious. And this man was there to witness all of this and said, yup, I'm putting a baby in you within 2 weeks, you know? So, you know, of course he is a victim and I'm sad for him, but you know, his own judgment is something that, you know, will forever baffle me in that situation as well. Like she seemed like very, very, very unwell. Right. And so I still do find that to be very strange.